Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. They say the secret to good leadership is to praise loudly but to blame softly. And they use that against President Trump, whom they say blames loudly. Jeff Sessions, do your job. Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. KJRadio.com is where you can find out more about the show. I happen to be Kevin Jackson, back from the Dorchester Conference. My folks that are listening to me on KYKN, it was good seeing some of you good people while I was in Oregon. Wish I'd had more time. And I know that the second day, I did bring some good weather to you. So you're welcome. Anyway, I was glad to get a chance to meet a lot of you folks that I hadn't met. I hope you enjoyed my speech. Most of you did. I know you came out and told me it was phenomenal, and I really appreciate hearing that. And hope that I imparted quite a bit of knowledge on you about how to impact the politics in your region of the world, because you are one vote in your House and your Senate, your state House and state Senate, to losing that state. You're almost there. I'm just telling you. Now, here's the deal. You got some good people up there, and I hope they get elected and that changes. And if there's anything I can do to help, please reach out to the station, KYKN, let them know, and they'll get in contact with me, or contact me at KJRadio.com. So blame is what I want to talk about. Bertrand Russell, who's a playwright, said, democracy is a process by which people choose who will get the blame. See, that's the way politics has worked. It didn't matter if you were competent. If somebody said, it's your turn, you took the fall. You could be the person who's keeping the wheels on the wagon in politics. If somebody points to you, if Barack Obama, back when he was president, said, you're going to take the fall, you took the fall. A good example. Susan Rice should have been fired. Hillary Clinton over Benghazi. They all should have been dismissed. Many people in the Obama administration should have been dismissed. But Obama said, nope, nobody's going to get the blame. Now, not because he's a good leader, but because he was a feckless leader and he needed incompetent people around him. The President Trump would have fired every one of them, and it would have been very public, and he would have blamed them because unlike, I know the definition, you should praise loudly and blame softly, but when somebody's wrong, and I'm talking about lives are at stake, I'm talking about people's money, their livelihood, are you going to eat or are you going to have to pay your medical bill? When that type of thing is at stake, you need to blame loudly. There's a time to blame loudly. But what democracy, what politics has done is it has dehumanized this whole thing, and it says, you know what? We're going to do it opposite. Hubert Humphrey said, to err is human. To blame someone else is politics. Barack Obama erred all the time. His non-public blaming of people was effectively him taking the blame away from himself. There was only one person to blame for everything that we're talking about right now in politics. This economy that Barack Obama paid $10 trillion to build, that economy, you could have bought Japan, Great Britain, and what other country? There's one other country. 3 countries that don't add up to the GDP of the $10 trillion spent by Barack Obama. They barely surpass it. It's Japan, Great Britain, and Germany. That's it. Could have almost bought all 3 of those with the $10 trillion. Can you imagine us running those countries as well? Adding that to America's GDP? So there's nobody to blame. People were dying on Obamacare. People afraid to go to the hospital. There's nobody to blame but Barack Obama. Oh, Kevin, there's people pulling his strings and minions. I don't care. You blame Barack Obama. Whoever were pulling his strings, fine. He became the most powerful man in the world. And at that point, he could have gone after Soros or all the string pullers. He either likes having his strings pulled or he's to blame. You can't have them both, leftists. Yeah, Katharine Hepburn said this of blame. She says, we're taught that you blame your father, you blame your sisters, your brothers, the school, the teachers, but never blame yourself. It's never your fault. But it's always your fault, because if you want it to change, you're the one who has got to change. That's a lady talking about, I mean, she's obviously gone, but she's talking about the blame game decades ago. Are we really talking about something new here, folks, when we talk about blame? Any of these problems, hypocrisy. Give me your issue. Tell me, are we doing anything new? The only thing we do is we look at it and we say, wow, she was talking about that 50, 60 years ago. And you know what the blame game is? It's worse today than it ever before. Kids don't take responsibility for anything. They don't take responsibility for their grades. They don't take responsibility for their behavior. They don't take responsibility for anything. And you know what the left will tell you? It's the guns, man. It's always something else. Today we'll talk about multiple people who want to tell you that a kid goes in and shoots up a school. Well, it's the guns problem. Really? I guess it wasn't the school's problem. I guess it wasn't the teacher's problem, the principal's problem, the FBI's problem, his parents' problem, society's problem. There are many things that lead to somebody finally picking up any weapon and deciding they want to use it, but they go, it's the gun. If he'd used a knife, would they be saying it's a knife problem? Yeah, good query, isn't it? Because the left is never going to blame itself. And look at what really is creating these people. What creates the angst of a kid in school? The left will tell you, oh, well, we need to teach them more tolerance against religions, and we need to teach them not to bully each other, and we need to teach the white boys that they have white privilege. Have you noticed who's shooting up these schools? Is it white girls? Girls got multiple problems in school. They got, the makeup and the shoes they wear and all kinds of stuff. Girls aren't shooting up these schools. You want to know why? Because even though there may be white privilege, little Sally, she's not going to shoot up the school because nobody's telling her that she's got toxic masculinity. Oh, they'll tell her about her white privilege, but then they'll remind her, well, you're a woman. You've got gender privilege. So, no, you're okay. And so they do everything to coddle her. But little white boys, I talked to some white youngsters, some men at this event. I told them, guys, you got a heck of a world ahead of you. Toxic masculinity, white privilege, rape culture. Gee, where are you going to hide? Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. The blame game. Schumer is in the news. Oh, speaking of blame, it's Stop Blaming White People Month.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177, or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful four-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.